Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. You are here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarland. How are you? I'm glad we're doing the work break slightly breaky. It's like a break. It's 2:47 p.m. my time as we do this. I like this a little earlier.
Know what? Let's be honest with
I've got more energy.
Anyone who's watching this, I think it's because you and I have both been on Zoom calls and Ring calls and Teams calls and every call today, right? And it's all good. No complaints. But it's like I said, if I have to be on camera one more time, let's get it out there. So
right. So I'm glad. Yeah, it's been a lot of that today. Also exciting today. HR Tech Conference kicked off earlier this morning. I feel good because I got to kick it off, by the way. I was the first human who spoke at HR Tech doing my little intro. I was real proud of myself for that. I put on a suit for the first time in 7 months when I recorded those intros a couple of weeks ago.
I was just going to tell you, you had talked to us and given us a little bit of the behind the scenes on that. But yeah, I didn't know you were going to be in a suit. So you were all dressed nice. And yeah, and you introduced Josh Bersin, who had a great presentation. So lots of chatter, I think, if I changed anything, I don't think I like all that chatter in the side. I really like focusing on Josh because he's got such interesting information. So
yeah.
Anyway.
The chat was really lively, lots going on there, lots of people checking in. I think the couple things I noticed was just huge crowds. I didn't quite catch the number, but it was a tremendous number of people logged in, and also just people from all over the world. So there was a lot of people checking in from Mexico and Sweden and the Philippines and you name it, right? We'll get a tally eventually about how many different countries are represented. It'll probably be 80, 90, maybe 100 countries, I bet, before it's all said and done.
I think that's great. And you know what? I won't give anything away that he talked about because people can obviously still go in and register. It's free.
Sure can.
You can go in today. It's just, I think, hrtechnologyconference.com, right?
That'll do it. Yeah.
And register and you get right in and you can watch, I think, a replay, right, of Josh's presentation.
Yeah, everything's going to be archived. I think it's going to be kept available. I'm going to quote me on this. At least 30 days, maybe a bit longer. Okay. I'm not totally sure, but a little while anyway.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, though. I think I'm going to stay out of the chats a little bit because it got a little distracting for me personally. But I'm looking forward to our friend Stacey Harris from Sapient Insights. And I have to tell you, I'm going to admit fully on, as an HR pro back in all the days I did it, I always looked to whether it was Lexi Martin way back in the day, right? And then eventually became Stacey Harris at doing their HR systems survey every year. That thing has helped me buy technology so many times. It gives you so much good data. She's going to be releasing that today over at HR Tech Conference, and people can get that. And again, no charge at all. So I would say today is a big day, right?
Yeah, it's exciting. A little bit sad in a way, right? I was thinking about when I'm normally at HR Tech Live, I'm running around like a madman the entire day. I never sit down. I never eat anything. I'm lucky if I get one bathroom break in a 10-hour day. But super fun to be kicking that off today and super exciting. And I just logged on a little bit ago and saw our friend Chris Leone presenting Oracle HCM story. So I caught a little bit of that, and he was great as usual. So lots of good stuff. And then I guess we should, because we probably won't do a work break before this tomorrow, maybe one more time, Trish, pitch your session at HR Tech.
Yeah, please come listen. It is at 4 p.m. tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. It will be Tom Hammond, and we're going to be talking about employee self-service. And as someone who was probably really against it back in the day because I've heard a lot of chatter from employees, we cover all the reasons why it's important nowadays and how it's different with technology. So I hope everyone will come join us. Again, totally free.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You can chime in the chat if you'd like. I would say also, I just want to point out, I'm really happy to I'm wearing flannel. This is the first time in my life I've taken briefings in flannel. Didn't even think about it this morning. I'm all cozy because it's kind of cold here. Normally,
so I've been notorious on the show, this show, right, for being in sleeveless shirts because it's been so hot here, right? It's been summer still. And today when I got up, it was actually cloudy and cold. I put a long sleeve shirt on, and now I can see outside, and I'm going to go outside after we're done with the show. I know I do not need this any longer. The sun is out.
It's warming up.
It's probably 70-ish, I would say at least, and it's great outside. So I'm going to get outside today. Last thing on HR Tech, though, real quick. I'm hosting Top HR Products of the Year session, which is also tomorrow, right after your session, oddly enough. And I didn't really schedule that, but that's how it worked out. 4:45 tomorrow. Check out a lot of our friends. Tom will be part of it. Oracle, Workday's part of it. So on, a whole bunch of companies part of it. I'll shout out one company I want you to check out, though. If anybody watches tomorrow, check out a company called Pluto. They have a really cool diversity and inclusion solution that I was super stoked to see. I lobbied really hard for it to get named one of the top HR products. I'm glad it did. So check that one out tomorrow as well. So.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. I have to tell you, I think that's one session because a lot of times at HR Tech in person, it is so busy. You can't make it to everything. You'll wind up with 8 or 9 sessions all at once that seem so great. You can't divide your time, plus briefings and all the things. I do feel like I'm better able to manage myself this way. But I will miss the one thing. I don't think I've ever told you this. The one thing I always look forward to is walking into the top product session, which is always in the big, huge ballroom, right? Yeah. And you walk in right in the center of the back, and it's like all dark back there, and then it's like lit up on stage, huge in the front. I don't know. There's just this feeling I get every time I go through that. And even thinking back to before you were doing that job, I can remember being very new to the HR technology space and still buying, technologies and seeing Gretchen Allercon up on the stage, right?
Of course.
That image of having the people who are out there really doing great things. So
it's so funny. Like there's so many cool behind the scenes things at HR Tech I don't really get to share or talk about, but I'll mention one real quick. I know we've been kind of killing this topic today, but that's fine.
Okay. It's our show.
I think it was last year's Awesome New Technology session, which is kind of the equivalent of Top HR Products that we were doing at HR Tech. We're doing it live. There were 6 companies presenting. It's a big technical feat to make that all work live as well, which we did. But we're backstage in that big stage. There's a big backstage right behind that stage where all the Freeman guys are, all the equipment is, all the sound equipment, all the video equipment. If you've never been back there, it's incredible how much stuff is back there. But anyway, we're back there getting ready for the show to start. There's 6 people presenting. And I looked around at one point. I was just standing there. I had my notes, whatever. I'd done this a lot of times. I don't really get nervous anymore. All the presenters, 5 of the 6 of them were doing the pace, pacing back and forth backstage. And at one point I looked at them and I don't know if it was Tom or somebody else who was standing next to me. I said, look at this. All 5 of them are pacing. I wish I could take a video of this, like right now, like of this. They were all like separated, so they were socially distant even last year, but pacing back and forth because they were, just a little bit of nerves about getting up on that big stage in front of all those people. So it was funny. It was a funny moment.
You know what? It's funny you say that too, because I've been to other, like even when I worked at Infor, obviously we would have Inforum, so there would be, 10,000 people. And what I always found interesting about backstage, you're right, it's very tight usually behind those big, big stages. People are pacing and everything and lots of conversations happening. We were also always changing our presentation up until the minute. I mean, so I'll be honest, I never had time to get nervous. It would be like, literally, the president of Infor and I would be like changing what we were going to do and how the order and how we were going to say it at literally like 2 seconds as people are pouring in and getting seated, and we're backstage so. And I know I've talked to other vendors and they do the same thing. So I guess my point there is when you see whoever it is that are the winners today, I'm excited, or tomorrow, to find out who they all are and hear their pitches. Just know that what they're giving you is probably literally the most cutting edge, up to the minute information, which is exciting to me.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I've actually seen the session already because this one was recorded in advance and put together in advance. I watched it the other day. It's really, really good. So I'm excited about it.
Locked in.
It came together. One more thing quick before we go, Trish. Our podcast, our little old HR Happy Hour podcast, going strong, posted a new show this morning, Workplace Movie Hall of Fame.
We did.
Instead of talking about one movie, we talked about lots of different movies, and we had fun doing it. So it's a good show. It's a short one, real fun though. So check that out on the HR Happy Hour feed today.
Can I make a dedication? Kind of like, you call into like radio stations and dedicate a song. Did you ever do that? Have you ever dedicated a song to a?
Yeah, all the time.
Did you? You did?
No, of course.
All right, so I'm going to dedicate this one to Tracy Volkman from Paychex.
Oh, our favorite.
who is out on maternity leave, but Tracy is always the one who's like, I need a workplace movie Hall of Fame show, So anyway, this one's for Tracy.
I hope she's doing great. And her daughter is doing good?
Yes. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Yes. Super cute.
Well, good stuff. So check that out. Check out HR Tech next 4 days as well. It's been super fun. One last thing, Trish, a sad note. Santa Claus is not coming to Macy's this year. That was my non-work thing to mention. I read an article about that the other day.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. So because you would sit on Santa's lap, is that
why? So that was the reason I brought it up. Were you a fan of the Santa lap deal, either when you were a kid or with your own kids? I was not a fan of it.
I did it as growing up, and then my daughter would always do it. My son was always like, I'm not having anything to do with that. I've got a couple years, same with Easter Bunny. He didn't want to sit on anybody's lap, but
I'll give a recommendation on that, on the Santa thing. Google or YouTube Chris Rock Santa at the store routine. It's one of the funniest stand-up routines ever. Google it or YouTube it and listen to it. It's really funny. So
wow. Good stuff. Well, I will tell you, and I will look up what it was called. There was a thing I did while they still believed, and it was like an online Santa video that you could do. So I actually did that for the last couple of years while they still believed. But anyway, guess it'll all be virtual this year.
Virtual Santa.
Virtual Santa. All right. Well, good stuff. Hey,
absolutely.
Shout out to all the listeners and viewers who are watching HR Tech today. We love you. We love your ideas as always, and check back tomorrow and we'll have more updates on the conference. Bye for now.